Hello soulmates, welcome back to our channel. My name is Esther and this is Q-Est Fashion Up. If you're new here, you're welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, you are also welcome. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a perfect bustier. If you are a beginner, at the end of this video, you should be able to create your own bustier. If this sounds like what you're interested in, let's go into it. So this is a quick and a very easy method of creating a bustier. As a beginner, you should be able to create your bustier with this method, okay? Now, the first thing we are going to do is to draft our pattern. This is the wording I'm going to be using, and we're going to be drafting the back pattern first before the front pattern. So this is a very quick one and it's a very detailed video. I'm going to be illustrating all you need to know to create your bustier. So that is the starting line. That is my upper bust line that I'm labeling right there. So this is the bust point, the half length and the under bust, and I added 1 inch for my seam allowance. Okay, so I already marked my 1.5 inches for my zipper allowance. Can you see that is the zipper allowance? Okay, so just follow me step by step. Grab your paper and your pen and follow step by step. You're going to get it perfectly. Okay, so this is the zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inches that I'm going to be using for the zipper. Okay, so that is it. And then all your measurements are going to be starting after the zipper allowance. So we are constructing the back panel first, and then we are going to also now construct the front panel. So if you don't know how to measure your upper bust, just go up by 2 inches from your bust point. You're going to get your upper bust, which you're going to need for your armhole depth. Okay, now from that point, I'm going to mark my back measurement divided by 2, which is 14 plus half an inch, which is 7.5. 14 divided by 2, which is 7 plus half an inch, which gives me 7.5. Now I'm going to mark my neckline 3.5 inches by 2 inches for the back neckline. So all my measurements are going to be starting after the zipper allowance. Okay, after the zipper allowance, just follow me gradually. You're going to get it perfectly. Okay, so this is 2 inches. I'm extending it to the zipper allowance. I'm going to connect it into a straight line like this, and also I'll take it upward into a rectangle. So after that, I'm just going to create my neckline like this. So after creating my neckline, I'm going to go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope, and I'm going to just connect into the shoulder slope like you can see me do in this video. So we are just creating this first. So I'm going to measure what I have left there. It is 7 inches, and then I mark half of it, which is 3.5, and I'm going to mark my bust measurement divided by 4 at the upper bust. Remember, I said all your measurements are starting after your zipper allowance, So my bust measurement divided by 4 is 9.25 plus 2 inches. So that is what I'm marking at that point. So I'm marking that so enable us create our armhole. So we are going to connect the 3 points together. This is the back armhole. So I'm connecting those points together. So this is my back armhole. Once I'm done, I'm going to come to the waistline, divide my waist by 4 plus 2 inches. Okay, so my waist divided by 4 is 7.5 plus 2 inches, which is 9.5. So I'm going to go ahead now and connect these points together. Okay, so when you are taking your measurements, your half length, I added 1 inch for my seam allowance. Okay, so half inch to join it at the shoulder and half inch to join it to your either peplum or your skirt, whatever you choose to do with your bustier. Okay, so I've connected it together. Can you see? Now note that when you are taking all of these measurements, don't forget your allowance, your sewing allowance. So like I said, I used 1 inch, half inch to join it at the shoulder seam, and half inch to join it, whatever you choose to use your bustier for, either your gown or your peplum top, whichever you decide to do with it. Okay, so I'm cutting out. So for now, I'm not going to cut my shoulder slope yet, and also I won't cut the neckline yet. Remember, I want to use it to cut the front pattern. Okay, so like that is what I'm saying at that point. Okay, so this is a basic bodice. I am doing this for the sake of the beginner, so if you watch this video to the end, you should be able to construct your own bustier. Okay, so now I'm going to fold my fabric into two and then go ahead and place the back panel we just constructed on top of the fabric. So I'm arranging it properly. So this is it. So now watch what I'm going to do here. So this is my zipper allowance, which is 1.5 inches. Okay, so now for the front panel, you're going to need between 2 inches to 2.5. You're going to add 2 inches or 2.5 to your to this panel you have created. Now remember that we have 1.5 already on the zipper allowance, so we are going to add just 1 inch to that, making it 2.5. I don't know if you understand. You need 2 or 2.5. I'm going to be using 2.5. Now we have 1.5 already on the zipper allowance, so you're going to add 1 inch to the 1.5 that you have for your zipper allowance, making it 2.5 that you need. So now you're going to add this all the way to the back of the pattern. Now when you're done, you're just going to go ahead and connect. So for the armhole, I'm going to add extra half an inch to it when I'm cutting. Now you'll get to know what that half an inch is for when we start constructing this bustier. So just go ahead and add half an inch. In some cases, I even add more than half an inch to be on a safer side. So you can add 1 inch as someone that is just trying it for the first time. Add 1 inch. When you are done, you can always trim it out to be on a safer side. Okay, so I added just half an inch. So I went ahead to cut all the way, like you can see me do on the screen. So after you're done, now we are going to go ahead and construct our bustier. Now the first thing you're going to do is to mark 6 inches. The 6 inches is constant for all sizes. Okay, so that 6 inches has to do with your neckline. Okay, so now I'm marking my bust point. The bust point I'm working with is 10 inches, but I'm adding half an inch to it for the shoulder seam allowance, so making it 10.5. The under bust is 14 plus half an inch, making it 14.5. the half length is 16 plus half an inch, making it 16.5. Can you see? For the shoulder joining. Now the remaining half an inch is what we're going to use to join this bustier to whatever we decide to use it for, either gown or peplum top, whichever. So now I'm going to connect this point into a straight line. If you have any question, please drop your question in the comment section. I'm going to respond to all of them. Okay, so this is the 6 inches, my bust point, my under bust, and the half length. Now come to the bust point region. Divide your nipple to nipple measurement. Mine is 7, half of it is 3.5. I mean your bust span. Divide it into 2 and mark whatever you have there. So in some cases you can decide to add your allowance to it. You can add half an inch to it, but mine, I do not add any allowance to it because I end up having it perfect when I'm done sewing, even if I do not add any allowance to it. So I just divide it into 2. But if you want to add your allowance, you can divide your nipple to nipple measurements into 2, which is your bust span, and then add half an inch to that bust point. Okay, so at this point, this is where you determine how curvy, how shapy you want your bustier to be. If you want it deep, if you want the cup deep, you know there are some bustiers that you can wear even without bra. This is where you determine how you want it to be. Now for this one that I'm constructing, whatever you have at your bust point, subtract 1 inch from it, mark it at that 6 inches, and mark it at the upper part. I don't know if you understand. I have 3.5. I subtracted 1 inch from it, so I mark 2.5 inches up, 2.5 inches down. Even at the lower part, at the under bust, I marked 2.5 inches, and at the hem line I marked 2.5 inches. I don't know if you understand. So what I'm saying basically is that I have my bust span is 7, half of it is 3.5, so I marked 3.5 at that bust point. I did not add any allowance to it. Now whatever you have there, subtract 1 inch from it if you want your bustier to be like the one I just created, which is curvy and the shape is really obvious that there is a bustier there. Now subtract 1 inch from it. So for me, I subtracted 1 inch from it and I have 2.5. okay, at that part, at the 6 inches, at the upper part, and at the under bust region. What you do is to connect the lines together. So the lines are 2.5, 2.5, every other part is 2.5, but the bust point is 3.5. I don't know if you understand. So now I'm going to connect the lines like you can see me do on the screen. So use your ruler to connect from the starting point to the 6 inches, and then from the 6 inches curve your hand to create the shape like you can see me do to your underbust and to the hem line. I don't know if you understand. If you have any question, please drop your question on the comment section. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut it out. Please remember to cut behind your chalk. Cut behind your chalk. So once you're done cutting, can you see what I did? Flip it over on top of it and align it like you can see me do. Now I'm going to do it again. Flip it over and align it like this. Make sure the bust point region is meeting together like that point. Yes, the part that I just touched. Now for this other part, this upper part, make sure you have 2 inches space in between. Can you see? So whatever space you have there will determine the space you're going to have at the lower part. So I'm just trying to use my chalk to mark it so that it will be obvious for you guys to see. So you leave 2 inches space there, and the lower part must also be 2 inches. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and cut. Follow the shape of the bustier you already have for that first one we cut. Now see what we have. Okay, so I'm trying to check if my 2 inches is complete there also. So cut it out. Turn down. With this, you have perfectly created your bustier. Now this is what you have. With this method, you don't need to draw too many lines, too many curves. You don't need to get yourself confused. With this, you already get your perfect bustier shape already. So I'm going to notch that bust point. I'm going to create a notch at that point to indicate that that is the bust point. Okay, so after creating it, this is what you're going to have. If at this point you have this shape, it means you're following what I am explaining, and it means you're on the right path. Okay, now we're going to be cutting our wording. So I'm also going to be explaining in details how you can cut your perfect wording. Now watch closely. I've gotten these questions severally, so I'm going to be answering these questions here. Now you're going to start your cutting from the 6 inches and you're going to end at your underbust. You start from the 6 inches and you end at your underbust. Now see the placement that I have now. So you're going to trace exactly the shape that you have there out. Can you see what I'm? Make sure that your edges are aligning with the edges of the wording. So I'm just going to cut it out following the shape of the bustier that I already have. So now for that part, I'm going to cut it out because it is longer than the half length, so I'm trimming it out. Now this is what you're going to get when you are done. You're going to cut 2 of this piece of wording. Now one for the middle, and you're going to use the second one for the side. So now I'm indicating the lower part of my wording. Okay, so I'm going to cut another one exactly the way the first one is. Can you see? So just go ahead and cut 2 of it. That is what you need. So once you're done cutting, just indicate the lower part. Use your chalk to mark it so you don't confuse yourself later. So once you're done marking it, now you're going to grab the first one. Okay, now we are going to shape the bustier. the wording. Sorry, we're going to shape this wording. Now watch what I'm doing. From the lower part, this is the lower part, you're going to just shape it this way and cut it this way. Don't worry, just relax. Don't worry, just relax. I'm going to tell you the measurements you need. Now for that part that I just cut out is 1.5 inches. Okay, so if you cannot freely shape it, just mark 1.5 inches upward and then just shape it in. It is very easy. So this is the one that is going to be at the middle of the bustier. The middle panel, this is the one that will be underneath. Okay, now this one is going to be at the side. Now watch closely, and then you're going to take it from the lower part all the way. Watch 1.5, you go straight like this, and then you curve your hand. Can you see? That is the shape, guys. Please, if you don't understand, reverse this video and watch it again. You're going to get it. This is the simplest method, easiest method. It has been tried and tested for years, and it has been giving me a perfect result. I've been using it for years. It has been giving me perfect results. Okay, now so you're going to align it. So one for the left, one for the right. Please make sure that you align it properly. The side that is very curvy is the side that will be inside. Okay, can you see the way I place it? The curvy part will be inside, while the side that is a little bit straight, not too straight, but it's not as curvy as the inside, is what will be at that the front. I don't know. So you're going to cut exactly the same shape of lining for both panels. You're going to cut the way the panel is. That's how you're going to cut your linings. You're going to cut your linings separately, and then your fabric separately. If this video is helpful, please subscribe, like this video, and share with your friends. Okay, so this is the wording that will be at the middle panel. So now if you check your wording very well, it has a part that has a glue. So the part that has the glue or gum, whichever you call it, is the part that is going to stay on top, that will be facing your fabric. Okay, so you are going to align it like this. Turn your fabric to the wrong side and place it on top. So at this point, the right side of your fabric should be facing you. So you're going to stitch carefully around that region. So you trim out the excess. Okay, now your placement is going to start from that 6 inches. Please don't forget. Now you're going to now align it right side facing right side. Pick one of the wording. Make sure you're using the right wording for the right side. Can you see that curvy part is meant to be inside? No, and this part that you're saying is meant to be at that point, while the covering side is meant to be inside. That is what I'm explaining. Okay, please don't mix it up. If you place it like this, it is wrong. That part, yeah, make sure that the part that has the gum is facing your clothes. Now you're going to place it this way. Make sure it meets. Okay, now you're going to place it this way and sew it 1/2 inch from the start to the end. So once you're done, you're going to repeat the same thing to the second part. Right side facing right side, and place your wording. The side that has the gum on your wording should be facing your cloth. You're going to sew with 1/2 inch. You're going to do the same thing to the lining piece. So at this point I was done joining. Can you see how curvy the wording is? So I went ahead to also iron using my tailor's M. Can you see? So I place it on top like this and I iron it. Please, when you're ironing any curvy area, don't use your iron to press it flat. You will just spoil the shape of the bustier. So I use the tailor's M to iron it, and now I also open all the seam allowance. Can you see what we have? And I also joined the lining and ironed the lining also. So the shape the bustier is having already. Can you see? Can you see, guys? Please don't forget to like this video and give it a thumbs up. So you're going to go ahead and join the sides together. Can you see? Join the sides, and then I went ahead to pin right side facing right side of the upper part. So at this point now you can now cut your neckline, whichever neckline you want to work with. It can be round, it can be V neckline, it can be canoe neckline, whatever. It can be Queen Anne neckline, whichever neck you want to work with at this point. You are now free to create your neckline. Now fold it into two like this, and then make sure it is equal. Okay, make sure it is equal. And so I'm going to mark 3.5 inches for the neck width, and then I came down by 5 inches. You are free to use whatever neckline you want to use at this point. So I came down by 5 inches, and then I just connected my lines together to create my my round neckline. So create your neckline. Be free to do whatever neckline you want to do. So create your neckline like you can see me do. Once you're done creating your neckline, now go down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Please don't forget to take your shoulder slope. So this method just help you to do all the things you want to do before you create your neckline and your shoulder slope. Okay, can you see that this method is so easy, super easy? Let me know in the comment section. Please let me know what you think about this method. Now come down by your shoulder slope and mark it in. Now at this point I'm trying to confirm my back measurement, my shoulder measurement. So shoulder is 14 divided by 27 plus half an inch that we use to join to the sleeve, which is 7.5. Can you see that we still have our shoulder measurement intact? Okay, so I even have little allowance there that I'm going to trim off, just small. So that's what I'm saying, that you can add 1.5, you can add 1 inch for that armhole part when we're cutting it, to be on a safer side. Okay, if you're trying it for the first time, go ahead and add like 1 inch. So I have sloped my shoulder, and this is the neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch the neckline, turn it to my lining, and I will notch it. So you can also put your Emmy gum as you are stitching. After stitching it, you could just iron it down. So after stitching, I notched and I flipped the allowance to the side of the lining, and I gave it a good press. So you can put your Emmy gum too at this point to iron it down, but I didn't put Emmy gum. Even without Emmy gum, can you see how cute it's looking? Can you see the shape of the bustier? So guys, if this video is helpful, if you have learned 1 or 2 things, subscribe and give this video a huge thumbs up. My name is Esther, and this is Q-Est Fashion Hub. Don't stop learning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.